So from what I'm seeing in the boxing game right now, a lot of people losing interest in Canelo Alvarez actually putting up some good fights. There's a lot of complaining going on about what he's not doing for the sport, and he should fight this guy, and why not that guy. A lot of people don't really care about what Canelo has going on. Right now, Canelo's name is basically being kept alive from Terence Crawford. If it wasn't for Terence Crawford, or if Earl Spence would have won, it would have been Earl Spence. So because of Earl Spence and Terence Crawford, Canelo's name getting kept alive because he's not fighting Benavidez. Like the fact that he's not fighting Benavidez and nobody cares, that's a problem. The fact that nobody's asking for a big fight from Canelo, and the only big fight they're asking for, they only been talking about for the last 6 months. I'll give y'all that long, but not really. Y'all haven't even been talking about it 6 months. I've been talking about it, Canelo and Crawford, for years. But I don't know, man. At this time right now, he's not carrying the sport, man, at all. He's not carrying the sport at all for no one. He's not helping anyone in the sport right now. That fight with Munguia for Mexico, man, that came and gone, man. That ain't one from the history books. I'm just gonna be real with you. I didn't feel like that was gonna be a historic fight. I didn't want to play Canelo on that one, but I didn't feel like that was gonna be a historic fight. So he definitely could have kept that one. Definitely. Yeah, that was a big time to me. I thought it was gonna be a lot more bigger fights, man. Like, he has way too many options. I'm gonna tell you how bad the Canelo situation is. He had the deepest division as far as young stars and everything. Now it's one of the weakest divisions now. Don't got Benavidez around. Morrell's not around. People are saying, oh, why Morrell and Benavidez leaving the division? Because they want to be champions. That's why. They want to be champions. They want to go to a weight class that has champions that actually want to fight each other. They don't want guys that's sitting around sleeping on belts and sitting on them like their property. So when they change the situation with the belts, I think everything would be a lot better. But I think the situation with the belts not really happening, not changing hands, mandatory is not being mandated. It's like they're just kind of relying on something else to happen, which is not helping the sport right now. They can rely on it whatever they want to, but that's not helping the sport. That's not. And holding up Benavidez, now you got a collection of people that want to see Benavidez fail. If he wins, they want to complain about how his win wasn't quality, like Canelo wasn't getting knocked upside his head against John Ryder. You know, a lot of wins he's came out of, he's taking some punches and basically try to use his size and experience. Yeah, with Canelo right now, he ain't really using his skill. He ain't out-skilling nobody. It's not really one of those type of fights. He's not putting on the type of fights that's just surprising people and having them jump out their seats. I mean, it's okay. Like, if his last fight was so interesting, people would already be thinking about the next one. But they're not, man. A lot of these guys holding back the sport, man. It's time to get some things rolling. And Canelo's one of the guys, he ain't pushing the sport forward, man. Like, to be honest with you, that's why I said, around the time that Floyd started fighting Canelos and things like that, I was like, man, he fighting guys who ain't ready, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Floyd fan. I'm just being real. But no, I ain't no Floyd fan no more. Inside the ring, yeah, I'm a fan of what he does, but outside the ring, you know, I ain't rocking with dudes like that. But yeah, I like everything that Canelo's done over his career, but Man, it just ain't enough, bro. Like, the biggest accomplishments Canelo got in his career is losses. Just being honest. He's no different than what Sean Porter is. The biggest accomplishments he got is losses. I lost to Spence, and I lost to Kell Brook, and I lost to Terence Crawford. And Canelo the same way. I lost to Floyd, and I lost to Bivol. He just a guy who's been artificially pumped, and they've used all kind of different countries and opponents from different countries like Golovkin and everything else to pump this guy up, man. He's not what they say he is. He's really not. We need to have, my only thing is, I don't care about who likes who. My thing is, man, we need to start pushing the fighters who want to fight each other. You know, so trying to build somebody up, man, we ain't got no time to be building nobody else. See, it's a whole Diddy situation. We out here creating industry plants and creating fighters like Tommy Gunn and Rocky V. Like, bro, why are we wasting our time on this guy? Like, somebody should have already fought this guy in the street like Balboa and got it over with. Like, why are we wasting our time on these Tommy Gun guys? They're not doing anything for the sport. I don't think Canelo done nothing for the sport, if you really look at it. The only thing he did was kill the last few big fights. Some of the biggest fights we could have had recently, he's destroyed. I think Canelo, he's done a lot for himself lately, but overall, Canelo's turned into a Floyd, man. And I don't appreciate the fans of Canelo who are basically supporting this madness and then trying to look the other way and complain about Floyd all these years. Oh, he just care about money and flashy. I don't like all the flashiness and the money things he does. All he does is care about money. He doesn't fight the tough competition. He just want to do what he wants to do. Complaining. Now everybody want to wait until 2024 to start questioning Canelo. That's why you got a lot of fans now that don't really expect guys like Tank or any big fighters to get questioned, because they feel like, okay, Canelo is not getting questioned, so why should Tank get questioned, or why should this other guy get questioned? That's crazy, man. The double standards they have in boxing right now, it's getting out of hand. If it doesn't get fixed very soon, these people are going to destroy the boxing community. They're going to destroy the sport. The sport will get destroyed. I'm just letting it be known. Because of the things I've seen recently, nah, man, these young guys are the only ones holding the sport up. Eastside Cruz is holding the sport up. Mario Barrios is holding the sport up. Benavidez is holding the sport up. We can even say Munguia is holding the sport up because he saved Canelo recently. We can even say Charlo. He was good enough to fight Canelo, remember? But Canelo, Terence Crawford, these guys, but those guys who want to fight everybody, Spence, Fundora, like, become a legend, man. Fundora's got dropped before and nobody cares. And you got Canelo out here worried about who's good enough. Like, bro, none of these guys, if you're the best, none of them going to be good enough. But I don't think he understands that, man. What he will understand is the fans are the ones who run everything. Not these guys outside the ring who call themselves the face of boxing and everything else. That's cool and everything, but the fans are the ones who run boxing. Just letting it be known. The fans are the real ones who understand boxing. And I've tried to explain that I have to do some more things soon on the same kind of topics, because these are old topics I went over already. I already told people it was going to be Berlanga. Told people it was going to be Munguia. And soon I will have and I already told people it'll be somebody at the end of the year. 3 fights this year Canelo will do. So yeah, man, it ain't really too much to report on Canelo no more. I thought that he would fight Crawford in May and then Munguia. But no, I'm not going to lie to you. I actually thought he would fight Munguia then Berlanga. But then when the reports started to come out, I thought that he would maybe fight Munguia at the end of the year, since Munguia is not a part of PBC. But then they went and did a split promotion, a co-promotion with the Zone. So I'm like, bro, nobody seen that coming. I didn't see that coming. That they was gonna do a co-promotion with the Zone. After what I've been hearing over the years and what kind of storyline they've been pushing, oh, I wasn't surprised. But was I expecting that? No, I wasn't expecting that. Definitely wasn't surprised. I think I seen it coming, but I wasn't expecting it. If you get my drift, that's, man, I don't know, man. The sport has to be saved. The sport literally has to be saved right now. If the sport doesn't get saved, it's gonna be some issues out here. If the sport don't get saved, it's gonna be some issues. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I don't think people really understand that. Guys like Canelo, he's not going to be able to hold the sport up any longer. I think it's going to be trouble for him, man. He can't really do anything in the sport right now. He's most likely, I ain't going to say he's done, but he's not really that guy like we remember. Because the Charlo fight and everything else, if it was as good as everybody expected, nobody would have complained about it. If the fight was as good as everybody expected, nobody would have complained about it. But the fight wasn't that good, man. It wasn't. It was not that good. I feel like a lot of things that happened over the last couple of months, though, it just shows that boxing has to be carried by the young guys, man. That's it. And I told people that last year. People really didn't understand that, but I'm glad that PBC started out the year with Fundora and Tim Tszyu and with Munguia, because it just goes to show, man, these older guys been just laying around, waiting on Turkey Al-Sheikh or Canelo, waiting on paydays. All these guys are waiting on paydays. Now, it's a group of fighters out here right now who are fighting to keep the sport alive and everything else, but it's a group of guys who aren't doing anything but building their name up by fighting certain people, and then are trying to go around and act like they're really doing the sport a service. They're not pushing the sport forward at all. Not with the things I've seen. Canelo's had some of the biggest fights in history that he's passed up lately. I mean, some of them. Imagine something that people don't talk about. Imagine Canelo fighting Bitter Bill instead of Bibble. He could have fought Bitter Bill. Kind of think about it. Canelo could have fought Crawford already. Who knows? Could have fought Spence. Who knows? Could have fought both Charlos and Andre. But y'all to sit up here and talk about all these other fantasy fights that nobody want to see. It's like everybody talking about fantasy fights with these new guys, but a guy like Canelo, y'all don't want to see us bring up. That's why I don't bring up fantasy fights. Like, oh, I want to see this fight, and because if Canelo's not getting treated like that, why should I treat anybody else like that? Especially young guys who just came into the sport. Yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah, I do not understand that. But it's crazy how boxing is going though. If they don't change it soon, we're gonna start handing off. We're gonna start handing off just face of boxing to random people now. And I mean random. Random. So many people. They sitting around here doing all these pound for pound lists. Oh well, let me put Canelo on there because he fought my Golovkin. Man, how many years you gonna be on a pound for pound list for fighting Golovkin? Some of these guys around here lose one fight, then they take them off the pound for pound list. Then we turn around and leave these guys on pound for pound? Nah, that don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Uh, I really don't understand it. But if we don't start pushing these young guys in the sport soon, and if we're just using them and try to put them in a position to get destroyed, because Benavidez could have easily lost against Bozic, and people could have said, "Oh no, he's not ready." Well, how can him fighting at 175 get him ready for Canelo at 68? These people sound crazy in the sport of boxing. He got to get ready for Canelo at 75, and Canelo can't even get himself ready for 75. It makes no sense. I don't understand what people are even saying like that. But if I say the same thing with the Ennis situation and Crawford, then people will say, "Oh, y'all trying to hide Crawford." And nah, man, y'all just ain't seen Crawford fight enough. Bro, you trying to get me excited about a fight you've been talking about for 10 months. Stop it. You've been talking about the fight. Most of these fights y'all been talking about have been 10-month fights. Y'all not 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of us been talking about Devin Haney and Tank for 10 years. Some of us. The real fans. Some of y'all ain't been talking about that for about 10 months. And it's 10 months. Canelo Crawford, 10 months. Let's get real, man. Like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. You can check all these dudes' YouTube pages. You can check all these dudes' Twitter accounts. They ain't putting up no videos about Canelo or Crawford. Over 2 years ago, they didn't even think he could beat Spence. Now they talking about he could beat Crawford. I mean Canelo. Then I'm hearing some weirdos say, "Well, he could beat Crawford or Canelo, but I don't know about Jerron Ennis." Well, put Jerron Ennis in the ring with Canelo. Duh. I'm sure Canelo will fight Jerron Ennis. Y'all I ain't heard nobody say, "Hey, if Jerron Ennis beat Crawford, he need to fight Canelo." I ain't heard nobody say that. So yeah, people ain't really thought this through yet. But we're gonna see how it plays out. But dudes ain't really thought this through yet when it comes to Canelo and every other boxer. I don't know what kind of standards they holding people to, but these young guys, oh, that young guy didn't look good in his last fight. Oh, no, he ain't ready for Tank or this guy. Canelo ain't look good in the last couple of fights. He ain't got no knockdowns. Yeah, he got a knockdown, but he ain't got no knockouts. He ain't got no knockouts lately. He's looking very weak around the shoulders, man. He ain't got no knockouts lately. And he supposed to carry the sport of boxing by going 12 rounds like Floyd. And people said that was boring. And I'm noticing too. Well, I'll say that for another video. Yeah, man. He ain't doing nothing going 12 rounds like Floyd. And everybody said that was boring. Now they glorifying it. They got to explain after every fight. One thing I noticed about a good fight growing up, I ain't got to explain a good fight. I never had to explain Wilder versus Fury or anything like that. I don't got to explain a good fight. You don't have to explain it. I haven't heard people explaining nothing that happened in Crawford versus Spence fight. Nothing. Haven't heard anybody explaining, oh man, this happened and it should have went this way. You don't got to explain a good fight. A good fight is going to happen regardless. Before the fight even gets made, you know it's going to be a good fight. So let's be real. Even with Fury and Usyk, we knew it was going to be a good fight. Well, some of us, they thought Fury wasn't going to be in shape or whatever that dilemma was. But that's all I got, man. Like and subscribe.